And remember, I've got this horrible thing behind me. Did you reach that? Thank you, media specialist. I have this terrible thing that's going to wind up damaged, surprisingly, over the weekend. I can't hear you, Elijah, so bring up the level.
Hey, my name's Kenneth.
I just want to clarify, I'm not going to shake his hand because I'm sick. I'm not a jerk, okay.
Well, you're interviewing now, so you handle it the way you would handle it in an actual interview.
How are you doing today?
Gary, how you doing?
Pretty good. Right. So I'm going to start off saying, so what is it about this position that interests you?
I've always had a big passion for making and designing games, and well, not only designing and making games, but also wanted to take this company. You know, like, I want it to be like the best, you know, design company. Because growing up, I've always loved games, and you know, like all those bad games that I played, video games, I've learned, and you know, I wanted to take it to make it better.
Alright, so if hired, how would you contribute to the company?
I would absolutely try my best to take this company to the next level. Now I want to be able to design games that everyone would like, and I want this company to sell the best games. And
So where would you like to be in your career in 5 years?
5 years from now, I want this company and I to take this designing and you know making video games to the next level. I want the gamers to experience a whole new thing. I want them to be able to really active and all that stuff while playing the game. So.
What do you ultimately want to become?
I want to become a person that, you know, not just love playing video games, but, you know, I want to be able to, make the gamers not just play, but, you know, feel the game and all that stuff.
Well, I think I have everything we need. You're coming in.
All right. Well, I have a few questions for you, Ms. McKenzy. Can you tell me about yourself?
I'm a social work major at East Tennessee State University, and I've always known that I want to be a social work. I wanted to be have a career in that field, and because of that, I've been able to acquire a lot of experience over the years, like in volunteering, and I've always had a job that's had me involved with helping people meet their needs. And also during my undergrad, like the volunteer I mentioned, I did a lot of work with the Boys and Girls Club and helped out in Alcoholics Anonymous. So through these jobs, I've gained not only experience, but knowledge that's vital to have in order to be successful and properly help my patients.
All right. Can you tell me some of your weaknesses and strengths?
Time management is probably my biggest weakness, but if I may, I'd also like to explain how it's my biggest strength. I believe that you should never do something unless you plan to do it right the first time. So while I may not be the fastest at completing tasks, you can guarantee that when I do something, that it's going to be done right the first time.
All right. Well, this is a very difficult job. Can you tell me why you're capable for this position?
Well, I understand the stress and emotional toll this job can have on you. I'm confident in my training, and I honor my oath to the Social Work Code of Ethics. And this is what I believe I was born to do, and I just have an innate ability to kind of read people and gain a proper understanding of people that I interact with. So, this understanding allows me to appropriately be empathetic with my patients while still remaining objective.
All right. Can you tell me a time when you had to resolve a conflict in psychological distress?
In the past, I've used crisis management twice with 2 separate friends that were suicidal. And I started with putting them on a 24-hour suicide watch. And I stayed with them the entire time and helped them come to come to an understanding of why they felt that way and whether or not there are environmental factors that were contributing to it. And one time I took someone running, tanning, and then we watched a marathon of Chelsea lately, because there are neurological benefits from running and tanning, and Chelsea lately was her favorite show, so it kept her spirits, she kept her in high spirits. And the next day she woke up and she made a course of action how she can change some of the environmental factors that I mentioned, and I'm glad to say that she's doing well.
Okay. Let's start with Kenneth. Dr. Kenneth.
Like, you said you love video games, but like, I just love video games. I mean, dude, if you love it, say you love it. Love is one of those words it's so broad, like when you say it, you actually got to mean it. It's one of those things, man. And you said, you gave an example about it's not just a game, it's something else.
Yeah.
Well, a video game, it's not really taken seriously. So I think if you'd like implied an example where when you played a video game, then you realize that, man, this is it. Like, this is the feeling that I want to give everybody else. If you'd have done that, I think it'd have been like awesome.
Yeah.
Definitely speak up more.
Yeah.
I couldn't hear you over here, so I know people in the back of the room could barely hear you.
Oh, and maintain contact. Like you were looking down off to the side. I think I looked at it like 5 times.
I hate eye contact. It's just sorry. All right.
Well, it means something, and I know that you said you've lived in this culture for 5 years. It does mean something different across cultures, and so I could see that. I agree that, again, you don't have to lose who you are, Kenneth, and you don't have to lose your original culture.
Yeah.
With that said, I mean, you can be a proud Filipino male, but with that said, there are going to be consequences in the American culture, especially for a man, where we expect them to be more forceful, and we penalize men if they're not. And so I really, if you could bump it up a bit and use more examples and really talk about what you can do for them. Because if you're a genius and you're really good at video game design, then, you know, sometimes your nonverbals don't mean squat. But you're going to have to be really good, especially in that competitive, that's such a competitive field. I don't need to tell you that. Very competitive.
I have to say that. Nervous. Like, I think the eye contact may have been more because he was nervous. Super fidgety, and what I just want to say is that when I asked you the question about like your plan in 5 years and what you would contribute, you didn't really seem to have like an exact idea of, you know, like I had a lot to say about like I wanted to do this, I wanted to make you guys like #1 or something. It's just kind of like I love video games.
And that's where you have to know the company and be able to say, this is the position that I want to be in. I'm working up toward running the division on.
I feel like one thing I noticed is that you would say something and you just do this with your head. Like shake your head, and it just didn't go together. It's like two things that didn't go together. So.
But
And what do you like?
I think that the kind of the quiet shyness is okay, because in video games you don't really, you work mainly you and the computer.
Yeah,
So
you look the part. I mean, the jacket laid back. You look the part.
Yeah, no, I really agree that it's gonna depend on the organizational culture, but you've got to figure out how to stand out. We all have to figure out how to be memorable, ultimately. And whether that's just because you're the best of the best of the best of the best, well, then you better have the product there. You better have the experience. Okay?
He probably had an excellent handshake.
I didn't want to I didn't want to get you sick.
I did want you to notice that when I upload the video, how your mannerisms did start shifting as the interviewer, and you did become more confident. You appeared more confident. Happens almost every time. And then Mackenzie, talk to Mackenzie.
I liked how she started talking about the code of ethics. It's just like you knew about social work more than just saying you you knew? You showed that you knew.
And I like how you really know, like you've been in like AA and all this other stuff, and you've done all this stuff.
I haven't been in A.
Oh,
Like,
well,
well,
not
not
like
volunteer
patience.
hours.
I mean, sorry, that came out.
No.
not good. But I mean, like you actually had the experience behind you, and you were like, well, I've done this and this and this, and they're like, awesome.
I tell well prepared you were for the interview.
How, what?
Well prepared.
Oh, thank you. I can't hear very well right now.
Yeah, it's tough. This classroom is horrible this semester.
Oh, I'm just sick.
Oh, are you? Yeah, that's right. You do have that.
You had good examples.
I love your style, Mackenzie. I think you have a very professional style. I want you to notice you start orienting away, almost like you want to get away from your interviewer. Did you notice that your chair starts angling away from your interviewer? By the end of the interview, you were, he's here, and you're.
She was looking like at the board.
Yeah,
but
plus
she
you
I
had-
did.
And yes,
Yeah,
you're
And
there.
I knew that I consciously knew that I would shift a little, but I didn't. I think I was kind of doing it to so I would not be moving something else.
It just can come across, especially with your style. You tend to have I think more of a classic, less, you're not high on being gregarious, for example, and that's that you have a cool classic style. But because of that, it's very good, but because of that, you can appear standoffish. So when you adjust your orientation away, it increases that perception.
Okay.
I want you to find ways of connecting. You can still be professional, cool, classic, McKenzie, but I want you to figure out ways of connecting and not appearing silverboat. Okay? Very good. Okay, let's get on to